All right. Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai, Barakatah Yahweh, Yahweh Shai, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai, Call Halayim Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Rachah Kodash, double honors to the apostles and elders at Great Millstone, taught us the truth, honors and citations to the elect, and the Shalom to the dead that died, the Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, because the dead shall rise first. To the Akwatim, to the children that believe in the true name of the Father and the Son, which the Father's name is Yahweh, He exists. The Son's name is Yahweh Shai, He is the deliverer. He's going to deliver us out of this captivity that we're in. My name is Mark Allah Bun Gad Bun Yasharala, and I'm back with another lesson. You know, the little spiritual booster, and you know, on the spiritual powers that the elect are going to receive. All right, and I just been meditating on that, you know, a lot. And you know, it's promised to us. Well, the Lord's will not be part of that number, but it's definitely promised to the elect. You know, the Lord gonna have mercy on whom He will, and it don't have to be me. You know, but as long as I'm a vessel, you know, I'm a you know, do what I have to do to make my call into the election sure. All right. So the first scripture I want to bring out is Zephaniah 3:19. All right, because it's talking about a great vain. It says, "Behold, at that time I will undo all that afflict thee, and I will save her that halteth, and gather her that was driven out, and I will get them praise and fame in every land where they have been put to shame." All right, so hey man, how you gonna get praise and fame? Fame and praise, Salakia. Praise and fame in a land that you will put to shame. You know, Shalom, Yahba Shem Brakatah. You know, how you gonna get fame and praise in the lands where you're put to shame? You know, that start with what? You know, actually going out there doing the work. You got brothers, you know, all on the you know, YouTube, you know, holding it down and pushing hard the words of Yahweh Shem Yahushua, you know. And that's one way to gain the fame, but also when we come into this time of Jacob's trouble, you know, hey man, that's when they're going to get their spiritual powers, and they definitely going to get that fame, man. At the same time as our affliction is going to be being taken away from, we're going to be able to see it. But I'm going to read this real fast. Verse 20. Salaki, this phone is jacked up, man. It says, "At that time will I bring again," Salaki. It says, "At that time will I bring you again, even in the time that I gather you, for I will make you a name and a praise among all people of the earth when I turn back your captivity before your eyes, saith Yahweh Shem Yahushua." Now that's heavy, man. As you're going to turn back the captivity right in front of your eyes, man. Which he's basically doing it right now, because you're starting to see Babylon fall. You know, so you know that these words are true. This right here should be a faith booster, man. You know, so I'm gonna go to Matthew, chapter 6, and I'm gonna start at 33. I see my brother Rob Moff on here. You know, Salat. This phone, forgive me, brothers, but this phone is retarded. All right, this is Matthew chapter 6 and 33. It says, "But seek ye first the kingdom of the Most High and his righteousness, and all these things shall be added unto you." All right, so what's that? All the things that you want added on to you, man. Brothers want that spiritual power if you're a true man of the Lord, you know. But you have to seek the kingdom of Yahweh Shem Yahushua first, and that's starting with right now. You know what I mean? So what's that? Turning back to him, you know, during the high holy days, man. You know, rehearsing the righteous acts, going out on the highways and hedges as you were commanded. You know, if I'm gonna grab that out, going out on the highways and hedges as you were commanded. You know, so that's seeking them. You know, not being, not you know, being a nigga still. And like we just was in the Feast of Dedication. And what was that all about, man? Dedicating the temple back to who? Yahweh Hashem Yahushua. And this our spiritual temple, our physical temple right here. Not a temple made by hands, you know? So we gotta dedicate that back to Yahweh Hashem Yahushua. But the brother brought out a precept. I'm gonna grab that. Matthew 4 and 20, what's that, 4 and 23. It's the book of Matthew, chapter 4, verse 23. The book of Matthew, chapter 4, verse 23. And it says, and Yahushua went about all Galilee, teaching in their synagogues and preaching the God of the kingdom, and healing all manner of sickness and all manner of disease among the people. You know? So that's what he was doing. Right now, we doing that on what? A low level. We're healing the sickness of our people. You know, then that's a low level of spiritual powers. How? Because we turn them back to Yahweh Hashem Yahushua. You know? Turn them back to Yahweh Hashem Yahushua, but it's through the spirit and power of Yahweh Hashem Yahushua they turn back. We're just a vessel that he uses. You know, that's how he gets his glory. You know, we give all honor, praises, and glory to Yahweh Hashem Yahushua for these things happening. All right, it says, so you casting out their sicknesses, because our people right now, they're sick, man. You know, they sick in the head, man. They want to be homosexuals, you know. They want to be gangsters. They want to, you know, gang bang, all type of shit, man. Commit adultery, you know, eat crab, shrimp, pork, lobster, all that stuff, man. So they're sick, man. And they need to be healed. And the healing starts what? Right now. You know, via these scriptures, man. And it's going to get to a time when we're going to be able to physically heal people, you know. But it says, verse 24, and his fame went throughout all Syria, and they brought unto him all sick people that were taken with divers diseases and torments, and those which were possessed with devils, and those which were lunatic, and those that had the palsy, and he healed them. Man. All right. So that brings me to this. That was a Yapa scripture. That ties right into what I was going into. So that brings me to Acts, the 5th chapter. I'm going to start at verse 1. Because Peter, you know, he rolled with Yahushua personally. All right? And he was Yahushua's top apostle, man. All right? Salaki, man. So, bear with me, man. This phone is really retarded, man. Hold up. Salak. I gotta get a new phone. One of these days. Not today. But yeah, come. That's right. He said the same thing that we'll get. So yeah, man, and yo, then that's your part. Cause look, this was bring out. This is Acts, starting at Acts 5, starting at verse 1, and it reads, by a certain man named Ananias, with Sapphira, his wife. It says, Salaki, we back on. It says, why hast thou conceived this thing in thine heart? Thou hast not lied unto men, but unto the Most High. It says, and Ananias, hearing these words, fell down, gave up the ghost, and great fear came on all them that heard these things. So, hey, man, yo, these was the you know, the apostles doing these things, man. So as soon as he heard what they said, they dropped dead, and that was the spirit of what? Yahweh shot. Right? Check it out. Verse 6 says, and the young men also. So let me put my camera back on. It says, and the young men also, and the young men arose, wound him up, and carried him out, and buried him. And it was about the space of 3 hours after, when his wife, not knowing what was done, came in. And Peter answered unto her, tell me whether ye sold the land for so much. And she said, yea, for so much. Then Peter said unto her, how is it that ye have agreed together to tempt the spirit of Yahweh Shem Yahushua? Behold, the feet of them which have buried thy husband are at the door, and shall carry thee out. Then fell she down straightway at his feet, and yielded up the ghost. And the young men came in and found her dead, and carried her forth, buried her by her husband. So yo, man, they just spoke these words to her, and she checked right out. So did the husband. And what's that? That's spiritual power, man. All right, it says, now check this out. This is what I wanted. All right. That was just a little substance to get to the point. It says, and by the hands of the apostles were many signs and wonders wrought among the people, and they were all with one accord on Solomon's porch. And of the rest durst no man join himself to them, but the people magnified them, and the believers were the more added to Yahweh Shem Yahushua, multitudes both of men and women. All right. So you know how it talks about the elect going to be saved, and you're going to have multitudes while believe in the spirit and power of Yahweh Shem Yahushua, and they're going to see all the miracles that's being done. And you can see it's a miracle for men to come together, man, under the umbrella of Yahweh Shem Yahushua, you know, under the doctrine of the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, which is the doctrine of Yahweh Shem Yahushua, you know. But here we go now, the back of Matthew. It says, in so much, so like verse 15, so much that they brought forth the sick into the streets and laid them on beds and couches, that at least the shadow of Peter passing by might overshadow some of them. Damn, that's crazy. So they brought the sick and everybody out in the streets, just hoping that he would walk by, like you have when Yahweh shot, like his shadow would touch him and heal him. You know, that's powerful, man. You know, and that's that fame also that the elect have, especially in the time of Jacob's trouble when the Lord turns up, you know, and they'll be able to do all these things, man. So if Peter and them did that back then, and Peter and the apostles and all the prophets are back down in the flesh on the highways and hedges right here in Babylon or wherever they were scattered at, you know, same thing in this time. All right, because you're going to need those spiritual powers, man, when Esau rules on us with all that technology. But, you know, the technology of us is not of this world, man. You know, just like the scriptures say, the weapons of our warfare are not carnal, you know. But it says, let me hop down. All right, matter of fact, I'm going to keep going. It says, there came also a multitude out of the cities round about into Jerusalem, bringing sick folks and them which were vexed with unclean spirits, and they were healed every one. Then the high see, there you go, and they were healed every one, man. All right, I'm gonna stop right there because I just wanted to touch on the, you know, the spiritual power that the elect are going to have, man. You know, and yeah, man. So that shit right there, man. They did the same thing. Peter did the same thing that you know, Yahweh Shah did, man, and all the apostles back then, man. You know, so hey, you gotta, what it tells you, it says you gotta have faith as a grain of a mustard seed. And you see how small a mustard seed is. You could look it up yourself, but you should know. But you know, you got some dudes coming in, the younger brothers and all that, that's not familiar with these things. But you know, a mustard seed is very small, and when you plant it, it grows into a great tree. It's one of the biggest trees out there, man. You know, planting that seed now, that small seed, so you can do greater things later. You know, it gets greater later. You know, so everything that we going through and all the trials and tribulations, but that might seem like it's heavy, man, compared to what Yahweh Shem Yahushua going to give us. You know, you just got to keep the faith and know what he's saying is real. Because what he's saying in these scriptures, and you see what was written aforetime for our learning, for our understanding. Our ancestors did it. So how much more of us in the times right now? And basically we live